Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crypto Empire. I am your host, Empire. Long time, no talk, but a lot of things have transpired over these last couple months. The political landscape has been quite volatile, and tariff talks have indeed shaken markets across the board, but Bitcoin still seems to be resilient. S&P 500 more volatile than Bitcoin as U.S. assets lose investor favor. Bitcoin's volatility has decreased compared to the S&P 500, evolving as a low beta play against stocks. For years, Wall Street criticized Bitcoin for its volatility, but the situation has dramatically changed as President Donald Trump's aggressive trade policies diminish the appeal of U.S. assets. Since Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement on April 2nd, the 7-day realized volatility of the S&P 500, Wall Street's benchmark equity index, has surged from an annualized 50% to 169%, according to data from TradingView. That's the highest level since the coronavirus crash in 2020. Bitcoin's 7-day realized volatility has doubled to 83%, yet it remains significantly lower than the S&P 500, hinting at the cryptocurrency's possible evolution as a low beta hedge against stocks. The cryptocurrency also looks significantly less volatile than the S&P 500 on a 30-day basis. Equity markets have experienced a dramatic spike in volatility, surpassing that of Bitcoin, which is currently seeing a decline in volatility. This raises the question, should investors place their trust in assets that are highly susceptible to political influence and human error, or in a mathematical framework and emerging store of value that is more resilient to such risks? CoinShares head of research 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 said in an email, the S&P 500 has cracked 14% in less than 2 months, largely due to trade war fears that have recently come true. The tech-heavy NASDAQ and Dow Jones Industrial Average have suffered similar losses alongside increased volatility in global equity markets. Risk aversion of such magnitude has historically seen investors park money in treasury notes, which underpin the global financial system, and the U.S. dollar, the global reserve currency. But since last Friday, investors have aggressively dumped treasury notes, driving yields higher, and the dollar index has tanked. The so-called benchmark 10-year bond yield has surged by 62 basis points to 4.45% since last Friday, and the dollar index, which tracks the greenback's value against major currencies, has extended its first quarter swing to 100. The lowest level since late September. Currencies typically appreciate when their national bond yield rises unless markets are worried about the country's debt situation, in which case investors pull money out of the bond markets, leading to a spike in yields and a concurrent currency depreciation. The Global South witnessed this in 2018. Yields higher, currency lower is common in the European markets. We saw this in the UK during the trust debacle, but it is highly abnormal for the US. There are only 4 other episodes in the last 30 years in which the dollar depreciated more than 1.5%, with the 30-year yield up more than 10 BP. Everscore ISI said, according to the Wall Street's chief economic correspondent, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏, it reflects evaporating U.S. growth, exceptionalism, and the reduced attraction at the margin of dollar assets for reserve purposes amid erratic U.S. decision-making, Evercore added. Ladies and gentlemen, with that news being stated there, how are you feeling about the crypto market? Is it holding up? Bitcoin seems to still be the #1 horse in the race. Like they said, the volatility is not hitting Bitcoin as bad. Everything is taking a hit overall because the market is volatile right now. But it seems like Bitcoin is a safe bet. And as I always say, if you're going to buy Bitcoin, think about holding it long term. No sense in trading because the market is too volatile. It seems like every week, maybe even every day, there's something new in the headlines throwing off the cryptocurrency and the cryptocurrency market. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues. We are trying to grow this community as quickly as possible. I'm going to try to do some more videos more often, try to stay on top of it so you have real world news in real time. But for now, let's keep our eyes on what's next. As always, research, prosper, conquer.